Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
So that inadvertently led to Mr. McMahon and all of the backstage gaga. It's Scott Field's fault. It's Scott Field's fault.
Enemies dropping into the AO.
So, after that, within a few weeks, all the guys had settled down a bit and etc. But Jim Ross knew after the fact, because I told him. And I also, and we're probably going to try to talk to him, I told Dave Meltzer. Because Dave
All stations, this is Shadow 01. Deployment to the war zone has been on.
He was for the shit that I wasn't around. 4 was by calling Dave Meltzer, but also I had called him when I was to find out if anybody was mad at me. And since I'd known Dave for 15 years, I knew that he would keep it in confidence if I explained it to him. And I did.
Go, man.
So,
Resurgence. Survive and your team can redeploy. Eliminate targets to bring them back faster. High priority contract is available. Check your TAC map for objective location.
We are going.
guess what they're going to do? They're going to screw Brett tonight.
Nobody seen that?
Nobody has cell
Yeah, we got a phone right next door.
Way to keep it tight. Supply box UAV is inbound.
And, I want to say that until I've got more voice, but as a matter of fact, maybe we can do that next week also, but the following month was basically... And I'll explain how that happened when I got more voice.
Back to my loose, huh?
As of this point, as of this day,
Need recon
I
overhead!
never brought it up to Vince again, and he never fucking made a comment to me again. We just looked at each other and never talked.
Y'all get y'all car and come turn it in and get loaded out.
It was like the thing.
We have a buy station inbound.
And like I said, it was 2 weeks later that I went to Louisville for Thanksgiving vacation with Danny Davis.
UAV is seeking fuel. RTB
I
at
knew
this
him
time.
for so long. And saw an escape path.
Deployable buy stations ready.
On my diet, I went from 280 in November of '97 to 198.
Hey, Green, come drop your money, Green.
99, and I moved to Louisville. I had something to live for again.
Got some cash!
And the following year, I've gone back to at Thanksgiving again, and that's when I worked his TV and worked with some of his guys. And talked to him about an idea for developmental programs.
What's the score?
Going out drop inbound.
Within that November of '97,
Easy work.
write that show, try to write what Vince wanted,
Easy work.
do, thing with Pillman.
On the
Then here
section
comes
defense
this goddamn deal. Then I run into Danny and COBW.
Your heart rate's
Bounty targets marked. Kill them all.
I inadvertently give Russo the opportunity to Iggy me off the creative team, which was fine with me because I was making the same amount of money and I didn't have to look at him once a week.
Where y'all trying to go?
Which there's a misconception that I'm mad about that. I was happy about
You got gas moving in.
I know we've been away too long.
because I was still making the same amount of money
Moving here!
and not sitting with him.
Cancel
one
that.
day. And I was sitting with the principal as well.
Alright.
That was all within October
Ooh,
and November.
Cancel that!
Y'all trying to get that bounty?
My thing was just getting to Louisville, and Russo's thing was, that's when they brought him for RN. I was there for his audition.
What's your favorite gun?
Marking the red zone.
Damn, they got my ass.
And was still not recovered.
I'm fading fast! I'm good! Had a double buy!
That's the only
You're incoming.
Good bitch, default.
I
On the
love
section
to
defense
explain it on, but he was
All bounty targets destroyed. Hell of a job.
And to be honest,
Oh, man.
as I said, miserable, blah, blah, blah.
Order the strike on the way.
in Manila area.
2.8 million. And
Arm that squad.
Yeah.
Hunt them down.
And a history lesson from fucking Scott Teal. And his wrestling defense.
You're down one squad, mate. We'll get you redeployed faster.
Man, nigga lagged out, bro.
Stories it needs to be. But I was challenged to figure a fucking finish.
XP boost
I'm
deployed.
finna go back to the ladder, man.
Because Dave does it day by
But the meeting was not just
Man, nobody.
that was the introduction meeting. And Kevin Dunn was there. And if there was another agent that wasn't in Detroit that night, they were there. And whoever was directing at that time, I can't remember.
Positive ID on the bounty targets. Hunt them down.
People in television, the main people in creative, it was a regularly
Contract
scheduled
stopped.
production meeting.
You hear a boom, they down there.
And sat in on it.
reports are that at least two of the aforementioned names looked extremely uncomfortable leaving the meeting.
I was always uncomfortable when I went into those fucking meetings because I knew they were gonna last 3 fucking hours, and I'd already knew all this shit. I did not report that because I wouldn't care about anybody else but myself.
Hostile counter UAV over.
Hey, they right over there.
I asked Vince, I said, "Have you got a finish?" And he said yes.
He right downstairs, y'all. Oh,
Go get hunting. Enemy destroyed. Use your
I
tactics to
got
hunt down the rest
definitely
of
get
them.
that ass up
Because Jerry Briscoe
there. Closing in. Tell me I got some fight.
trying to give him a crash course in
Your dumb ass up so you gonna die quick.
defending himself or shooting or whatever the fuck.
This bullshit all the way up, man. Oh, there you go, there you go.
Show Sean a few things in case he has to take care of himself. What the fuck? He's gonna turn him into goddamn Carl Gotch overnight. And fucking
All squad members are in the safe zone.
But that's kind of thing.
Come on,
But that happened. But I
what the
did.
fuck, Blue came back?
How often do you see Brett when you do your limited appearances each year?
Come on, it's your mom, he came back.
I got some
So like he's playing, or he just lagging right there.
smoke.
What's up? That nigga ain't playing.
There's so many.
Tony ain't putting on it. Here, putting on plate.
What do you do with it? Come on.
Man, yeah, that is. Hey, Blue. Don't pick this shit up, bro.
Can't live without the car and security.
About anything and just puke.
Waiting for the live.
Oh my god, bro.
To say about him.
They have so many damn traps everywhere, bro.
You know, nuts and
Y'all just move around, y'all couldn't stay here and wait on the gas. Yeah. I got this bitch, man. I got gas,
They
man.
cut us out of the Viceland thing. I said, God damn it, he wouldn't do anything else.
Bitch right on us, bro. As soon as we get the push out.
Fire sale active. Buy station prices have been.
Oh, shit. Over there, ass. Hey, right next door.
First to cash
We're
out.
on top.
Do a fucking national TV documentary. Deal with IDW. That's the
You that bitch, fucking cowboy.
We're on top.
And I said,
And everybody.
Located the rest of them.
Yeah, that bitch, boy.
Marking the rest of
That's
Y'all
them.
killed
Tac
me?
map. Get hunting.
these
Charges is
statues.
about to end. Make
Yeah,
it
that's
No
count.
telling up this bitch, dog. You gonna die.
I
So,
swear if they had run
niggas gonna die trying to come up this bitch, dog. Oh, who got another? Oh, shit.
right? To have
Oh, shit.
Bro, I'm not dealing with that.
Well done.
got the shit kicked out of
I
him.
hate riot.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
To be
Tac
kidding
map
me,
to
how
hunt down
many?
the rest of
Alright,
them.
nigga.
Ground. Move it.
They're not gonna go that deep into. At least Strangler Lewis was on TV tonight, right? At least we got that. But they couldn't go into that detail. But
Damn, I need some more. So, Blue came back, man.
Move to the safe zone.
watch his
Blue, he back. Shit, he back.
Yeah, I'm
Picking up
bad.
plates about goddamn
Fire
30,
sale
20 minutes, bro.
Adjusting prices.
finishes. It's not
This shit, I need to put on about 30 plates.
for Shawn Michaels to ever put a switch hold on Bret Hart.
Oh
Because
shit, man, you don't follow this nigga. Hey, they right on us.
Could you fall from the
They right on us, bro.
the idea idea
I
of a
detected
spot.
an
Green.
increase in your
Oh,
speed.
Sean gets your hold of it, then you power out and reverse it.
No,
That was
teammate
the
just fell from the sky.
to get him in the
They on the boat. They on that
Did I
boat.
see my
Supply
name?
box is
Like,
marked.
taking
Secure those locations.
or whatever.
What is that?
Resurgence has been deactivated. This is the end game.
That nigga up. We meeting y'all, nigga. We meeting y'all, nigga. We meeting y'all, nigga. Huh?
In the water.
Huh, bitch ass nigga. What y'all thought they was, nigga? What's up, yo? What's up? I drive one. Come back here. You gotta pick him up. You got one down. Can't take care of Blue. Blue, to your left, Blue. Go back where you were by the stairs. Behind that little thing.
I can't. One. Hey, bro, all y'all
Hey, you ain't paying to kill, man. Bitch ass nigga, bro. Niggas in the water, high. I'll take my loot, Green. Give my guns, bro. Give my guns, Green.
And if Brett is listening to this, and I don't
Come
know
on, took my guns. Who took my guns?
read all this shit, but I do apologize. But
Come on, took my guns. Who got your gun, bro? I don't know who got my loot. Got lots of guns, man. Wow, that died right here. Look. Ah, shit. Man, who's fuck?
I suggest shit like that.
I don't want that shit, bro.
Next week we'll possibly have some comments from Mr. Meltzer, and so we will talk when I can talk.
Man, let's push up this shit.
My last month on the creative team, and how happy I was when you so iggy'd me out, but how that went about too, which I've actually never told that story either. And I've never to this day, Vince McMahon never told me.
Two supply boxes secured. One remaining.
It's hard without telling the whole story, but I talked to Beth, Vince's secretary. She said, "Boy, have I missed that
Contract
day." I said,
complete.
"Okay."
All supply boxes secured.
Alright, so they're all
Gas is
hiding.
moving. Be
Yeah.
advised, enemies
Come
deployed.
on, by the bicycle.
Some of your squads outside the safe zone.
Come here, get down. Stuff on too. Oh, they're sniping me, y'all. Pull up, y'all. Pull up. Outside, by the bus station. Pull up. Hey, man, come on, bro. Look, you know I gotta set food truck up. Man, I know y'all hear me. Come on, come pick me up. We thought that shit was gonna work.
Oh, baby.
Man, y'all hear me?
Plywood.
Stay. How many kills I got?
The safe zone is far from your location.
Right there. Damn, look another one. Where you at?
Bro, why are they all on us?
Are they mad? We been killing their ass. Fuck, nigga. Bro, I need this bitch too, bro. Somebody get that bitch. Oh, it's the gold thing right here. I got it.
Hey, let's push circle. Oh, that is not an enemy. Let's-
Bro, we good, bro. We finna win this shit. Yeah, they gonna be fast. I'm gonna bring you dumb ass niggas out, y'all hiding. They probably on the hill, bro.
One could kill himself.
He broke his leg, stupid ass. Damn, they right there. They dying now. I knew it, man.
Keep your eyes up for prize contracts. You'll earn more from your bag.
They down here, y'all. Yeah, they down there in that little hole down there.
Nah, they're inside the house now.
You know, as important as he is now in the company, he was just
Just smoke that bitch out.
out of college, but probably
You know, they on there to see.
probably said, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do." So, and
Hey, let's just wait. I've spent.
They
We all
got
have.
to come up, bro.
because Vince
And I got a gas mask, so we're good.
shot that he knew what he was gonna give him. He felt like he owed him that.
Now you didn't know they were going to use your finish, but did you know the double cross
Only 4 remain. Finish the job.
Damn, bro, they gonna kill it. But they gonna kill themselves.
I know. Okay, we're gonna do this bullshit DQ. We're gonna have this big fight and act like it got unprofessional. And the first time that I realized it was
Got him. Oh, hey, I bring that back, man.
showed you he had to get into it.
Not playing.
Because Sean didn't know how to do it. But when they were doing that for a second, I was like, oh, they're not. Oh, they are. Though. Oh shit. That's when I knew.
Oh, too close.
So I don't know what more to say.
Let's split this
At
loot
this
50.
point.
Well, we could keep going, but just I guess we kind of exposed it earlier. This is now late.
Oh, looks like you poked a bear. Let's get you back home.
But since I was dared to come up with a double cross that would hold water, I did. Vince blew it off. We continued and never talked about it again.
I want to kill her.
Should I buy a new yoga mat? New me?
Hell no.
Last time I went to yoga class.
Hey, let's play again.
Questions about money, there's Erica, the virtual financial assistant to help you spend, save, and plan smarter. Only from Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Erica is only available in English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America and member FDIC.
I certainly didn't give it the thought that, well, probably in 20 years, Brett's still going to be mad. Maybe we shouldn't ought to do that. But Vince apparently thought, but once again, he took it the other way. He let everybody know what he had done rather than trying to kayfabe it from everybody. So it completely changed the complexion of the thing. And, Brett's calling the newspapers. Brett's going on TV. It was, yes, billionaire Mr. McMahon was the greatest heel character of all time. And yes, they entered a golden period. But when we peeled so much of the curtain back, you couldn't go back from those things. And now, after the hot shotting, they never have gone back after all those things. But, so once again, like I said, my finish on a dare led to more exposing of the business as a work and the behind-the-scenes manipulations of same than anything else that's ever been done.
Yeah, he's been on that shit for a long time.
Maybe somebody on my grave.
Well, tune in next week when Jim talks with our guest, Eddie Manson.
What's wrong, too?
About
Damn you. But anyway, we will try to talk more about that following month, which is interesting also, and etc. when I have more voice.
Hold on, one more thing I have to ask.
All right, well, go ahead. I'm bearing my soul.
Check your gear and weapons. We'll be deploying shortly.
Let's split this loot 50. Shall we?
You haven't said anything. Is it something you've been trying to say? Is it something you wanted to say?
Yo te compré una tele y no me puse bien clarito, todo esto me estaba perdiendo. Los bobos. Yo, man, low, man.
And somebody said Sean came up with the idea. Well, yeah, well, Sean talked Bret Hart into getting in his own fucking thing, right?
All stations, green light. We are deploying to the war zone.
Well, I told him. And he put it in his book. And he said, I said, just have him put his hold on and ring the bell. Fucking moron. That's what you think wrestling is. Just do this. And how are you going to get to that point? Vince McMahon, the best negotiator in the history of wrestling, couldn't talk these guys into a fucking finish. Right? Yeah, you're going to. You fucking moron. I've tried to...
Resurgence.
Oh, man.
Survive to redeploy fallen teammates. Kill to bring them back faster. Be advised, we've received a high priority contract. Objectives marked on your TAC map. All right, we got you started. You finished the job.
I said nothing that's written
damn beautiful. Stuck that landing. Supply box UAV is on the way.
Even though this broke
Identity
K-Fade,
confirmed.
it actually, to me, perpetuated the idea that the things that will draw the most money that people will pay the most are the things that are real. Because this was real. It was just a byproduct of this real thing that we had to expose kayfabe. Because if Brett didn't lose the belt and he didn't really win the belt, then by extension, all other things in wrestling were worth but because this was real, it got everybody's attention and drew money. It's a conundrum.
We're on top of lava, y'all. Oh, shit. On the roof, shoot at him, shoot at him.
Since then,
The old shoot.
Marking the rest of that squad on your attack map. Get hunting.
Pick me up,
Back
Green.
on station. Good
Them
work.
niggas, bro. Them niggas trying to stop what we doing already.
bullshit.
Damn.
Slow down ice and study wrestling.
Trying to stop what we doing, man.
And like I said, I'm sorry, Brad.
You've got reinforcements
One
inbound.
nigga right behind me.
You know, but don't dare me to come up.
Fuck one of them niggas, though.
Your squad mates redeploying. Well done.
You know, that's just so to answer your question. No, I've never really wanted to come out. I just wanted
Niggas
to.
got us fucked up, dog. We finna take this bitch back over.
But then I wouldn't.
God, this ass nigga. Oh, that shit is gonna work.
UAV is being fuel. RTV at this time.
These people are full of shit.
Fuck my goddamn load out of man. You die, bitch. Die.
What was Vince's reaction when anyone would
Fuck
suggest
load out of
anyone
man.
other than Sean?
Let's split this loot 50.
Hostile advanced UAV overhead.
Have him drop it to anyone else. 'Cause it seems like
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
and we don't have to go into the whole liability and everything, but just in terms
He
of
on top of the field. He on top of that bitch.
Gas is
He on top of
inbound.
that bitch.
Supply box is located.
We got one right here, too. No, I don't see that nigga on top of that.
I think
That nigga sniper.
Vince would have been admitting defeat if he switched.
I want to get this gun down.
with the boys. Oh, you don't want to drop the belt to this guy? Well, we'll change.
You not worry about it no more.
Your squad made it to the safe zone.
And Vince McMahon Sr.'s
Hey, stop back there.
cardinal rule that Vince
Behind you, son.
Confirmed, and we located
Hey,
the red
guys.
zone.
the guy's holding you up on the big.
Y'all fuck niggas fuck load out of
Supply
man.
box
We
secure.
can kill all these
2 to
bitch
go.
ass niggas.
Buggy Maverick.
We got enough to load out there. Drop the
Supply
number.
box is down. 1 to go.
In the ring.
Alright.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Gotta do that. And I mean,
Somebody flying in,
I
man.
was still the boss, and I was not as abrasive then as I am now. But I couldn't just come out and say, "God damn it, Vince."
I got nothing about load out.
Take the belt off every 2 months ago before you reneged on his contract.
Yes, no, where you at?
Friendly loadout drops on the way. Loadout drop headed your way.
On his contract. See, that's another thing.
Your squad mate's back on station.
Good
Good work.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try that again.
Marking the rest of that squad on your attack map. Go get hunting.
KJ, what's wrong with your mic?
Armor satchel defensive.
No. KJ, turn your mic on. Everybody turn that mic on, man. We gotta communicate, bro. Y'all hear me, huh?
Enemies are dropping into the area.
Y'all hear me?
Got it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Kill confirmed. We located the rest.
Where you at? Y'all killed him?
We'll work Bischoff. Because that was the thing. He said, just say you've got a loophole. Say you've got an out. In a clause, you can send it to him, and then you see if
All
he can
supply
still
boxes
get the
secure.
fucking
Contract complete.
Yo, KJ, kill him. Damn.
Shall we?
He gets paid just fine.
Your heart rate
Stop slacking.
The rest of them.
I've been told I'm hard to kill. He just sat that back.
Bounty targets are up. Get after 'em.
Need an extra week? You can have an extra week. So originally the plan was Brett was going to stay with the WWF
Contract
until
stop.
December.
Yeah, and well, at one point, one of the suggestions was that he's going to do a December pay-per-view and drop in some kind of four-way deal or whatever in December and so get a 30-day extension. That was right in there late in the game before he came up with the idea of just relinquishing it on Raw.
Analyze.
And Bischoff agreed
Are
to
the
that.
fake
But
defenses in
Let's all push that up.
Gas is moving.
that up because this is
I didn't say nothing, Pink.
that people understand.
We don't let no switch up.
25 remain. Solid work so far.
And well, no,
Hostile counter UAV overhead.
Meltzer's pointed out that they established legal precedent with the belts.
All right,
coming
your
up
squad's
with
in the
belts,
safe
intellectual
zone.
property, blah, blah,
Let's
blah.
split this loot 50-50.
But, and Dave was taking
Shall we?
piss out of some of it
Fine.
because some people were still perpetuating the idea that this was
Field
what was going to
upgrade.
happen.
Yeah, nigga. Nigga, hit me. I hear you. You don't need no nigga. Do you island?
Because back in
What is it?
the internet was not a thing. And the only way that you could
I don't know. What do you niggas do, Johnny?
Fill me up.
Vince was going to be live
Enemies dropping into the AO.
on Monday night.
I don't know. We ain't gonna hide, bro. Another. One down, bro. You hit me from there. We ain't gonna get him, hit me from there. Damn, Green. Damn. They sitting in there. Take them to the mic on. If it is on.
This was still wrestling.
Who the fuck you wrestling came back?
Even if Fred had come out on TV the next night.
Yeah, I'm talking to that.
Said on TV.
Oh,
next
no,
night,
no
side
se lo
by
doy.
side. After he lost the belt, it was.
Man, that's some fucking bullshit, bro. They on the roof down, took the roof over.
Current world champion. You have fucked that guy's.
They took over, they did.
That guy's dog.
Resurgence window is ending.
Emasculated him.
Watch your
Took
six.
that bitch over, man. Don't have no more. All them guns and shit.
You've got reinforcements inbound.
You need medical
You're back on
attention.
station. Go get after it.
Install, avoid, whatever the fuck. He did not trust but he didn't trust Bischoff with his company in his hand. He was given
I scanned the
he
battlefield.
would have been put
You've
in
got a 76%
Your
chance.
squad mate's back on station.
necessarily future, but
Good work.
because of their public image in the hands
You
of
got gas moving
he
in.
would have been the ultimate fucking. If Vince would saw that, I'm sure as being Bischoff's bitch. He can't let somebody else have that power over him.
Let's split this loot 50-50.
That night.
Shall we?
Be advised, you still have squad mates outside the safe zone.
And that's why I believe in
The
hindsight.
bad I come over here right there chasing you.
Fire sale's done. Prices are back to normal.
Oh, them niggas just live to the jump shit out me, bro.
Shit you never would have wanted.
That's some bullshit, bro. He literally just jumped the fuck out of me.
And then when he realized that he couldn't, he had already made the fucking backup plan the night before with Jerry Briscoe and the fucking shit wrestling lesson. I'm sure that was like a Billy Roberts.
Being tracked by an enemy squad. Invade and survive. Squad mates redeployed. Well done. Be advised, resurgence is no longer active. This is for keeps.
I never brought it up.
Ahí lo sacaba, mira. Le viene ahí. Levántame que viene el sonido, viene el sonido. De tu derecha. Ain't come back. That nigga, that mom's on his fucking gun. Aquí hay otra que ahí te lo marqué. Who made it? Alright.
I would figure out
Oh, that's up, man.
ways to explain it on interviews or things that were it just
Gas is closing in.
OCD. I have to,
Oh, what, bro?
you know, the details, right? That's one of the things I've been able to do from all of these guys.
Who the fuck is?
Mr. Rhodes, whatever. There's a way to do a finish for anything. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, whatever. But there's a finish for everything. And finishes, like I said, are not just you do this to me and I'll do this to you, and then you hit that big move. You're planting seeds. You're telling a story. You're making things make sense logically, even to a fan who doesn't really know the behind the scenes business. But when they're watching it, nothing pops out at that fan as slaps you in the face with it's uncharacteristic or it shouldn't be there, or that you don't follow a shooting with a stabbing. The big crossbody that gets the huge pop, and then you go 2 more minutes because that's what you had figured, right? You build these things. You put things in the right places. I've been good with finishes, sometimes to my detriment. But there you have it. And I would be interested in feedback, if and or death threats, whatever.
What about that? In the middle of the documentary, all of a sudden they have to have you show one of the death threats you've received on the wall?
Well, no, they shot here for 6 hours. We did stuff for several of their specials on different subjects, and they asked me to give them a tour around the vault. And so I was just showing them some things, but they were fascinated by my, dive into history, because, they, even Evan Husney, who's the producer we had on the show here, he's been a longtime wrestling fan, but I don't think he knew just how much history there was in the business, to the backstories of things and why things are the way they are. And like I said in the program, you can learn from history because it always repeats itself. And it didn't even dawn on me that it was Montreal until after the whole thing happened. That was just an odd side note, that both those things happened in Montreal. Lewis and DeGlane in 31 and Michaels and Hart in 97. But that makes
I don't be caring about this shit.
cool story that there were 2 Montreal.
I just get it while I
and
get
one
it.
of them instigated the other one. And Scott
Yeah,
T was
no.
involved too. Goddamn you, Scott.
No, I like
Thanks
that.
for looking
Death
at this
Threat
shit.
is also they made sure to make some space in the documentary for Brett to say that Tammy was sleeping with Sean.
Well, yes, but he winked when he said it. But when that ground has already been covered, or that row has already been plowed, or whatever you.
Skip. Give me about 10 minutes, bro.
All right, at least I got you at midnight. I can barely talk, and you're a fucking babbling mess. We could do this all night, and it seems like we already have. But folks, I hope I sound better this weekend this coming Monday when we do the drive-through, and next week on the course of wrestling history. Well, folks, at this point, there's been all kinds of controversy over last week's episode of Dark Side of the Ring on Vice TV about the Montreal screw job and who knew what and who didn't, and my revelations. And Harley Quinn even got a thank you in the credits. We appreciate that, guys. But also, we wanted to bring in probably the guy who knows more about this from all sides than anybody else in or outside of wrestling. He is, of course, the editor, publisher, creator, originator of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and he is a savant when it comes to wrestling details, and that's why we have him here today. Dave Meltzer. Thank you, Dave, for being on this program.
Oh yeah, thanks. I listened to your show on it. It was absolutely fascinating. I mean, the whole thing with Montreal is that if you're like a fan in 2019 and you look at this and it's like there's like 50 things that will just boggle your mind about it. Like, how could this happen? Why would this happen? And it's like, but in 1997, it wasn't that weird. And if it was the 70s, it wouldn't be the slightest bit weird because, as you know, and you talked about, it's like one of the keys to why this happened was because of the value of that championship and what it meant to Vince McMahon and what it meant to Bret Hart and what it meant to everybody in the industry. And now it's, the championship. It still means a lot, but it's not in the same way. I mean, it's passed around, everybody gets a shot, so to speak. In those days, you hold on your hands the number of real world championships. And those guys are all, every one of them is like a, practically a surefire Hall of Famer. If you held that title, you know, whether it was WWF, you held the championship, you know, Bruno Sammartino or Backlund. I mean, you could name the guys off the top of your head that held it, right? And then on the NWA side, it was the same thing. You know, you could.
Oh, you knew the dates. You knew the dates they won it and the dates they lost it.
Right. You could do the lineage from Fez on, like I wouldn't say any fan, but any historian would trace, you know, Fez to, you know, Watts.
Like the Kennedy assassination, you get I don't know how many issues on it for weeks afterwards. And you can't do all the details and the dates and the places and the contracts and in a 45-minute television program without commercials.
Capture the objective.
It was an overall view of how important the manipulations and meanderings were in wrestling, how important the championship was, that people would go to, especially in that promotional war. It also shows that
they're taking C.
Basically, wrestling, there have been some you know, the platitudes of wrestling. This is bad, that's bad. I remember when Chris Candido won the NWA title in 1995, right?
Hostile counter UAV established overhead.
In an airport bathroom. And he was so excited.
Charlie secured.
He talked about it as soon as
Taking
I introduced myself, and Mr. Thez, so great to meet you, sir. I'm a wrestler, and blah blah blah. And Lou had asked me he had to. Well, currently, sir, I'm the NWA World Champion.
We're losing Charlie.
And the thing that Thez told him was, well, be
Securing
careful, kid.
Zone A.
When you go around to these different territories, you try to double cross you.
Yeah.
And in 1990-something, even that was
Enemy UAV inbound.
About it. But that's because there were so many double crosses in the formative years of wrestling.
Controlling
I
Bravo.
think I tweeted not so long ago that how many in the from 1905 a decent percentage.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I would think 67. And I mean, certainly, like, in many ways, you look at the real history of wrestling in that era.
Taking A.
You know, a lot of the double it was kind of like the formation, you know, the formation.
Zone A secure.
Get a UAV those were like major switches, you know. I mean, they changed history, so you know, in a lot of ways. I mean, the whole history. Well, not every world title changes. Double cross.
Taking C.
Those double crosses changed so much.
Taking Bravo underway. Zone C secure.
How it changed, and also why, even as late as Jack Briscoe. I remember when I don't know if you know Jack Briscoe won the world title.
We're losing Alpha.
Thank God.
Lost Alpha.
Thank God he's a real wrestler. He doesn't worry about double crosses. Like, I mean, even though Dory Funk Jr. was a real tough guy, and Harley Race was
They're taking C.
He was a really tough guy. Like one of the things of being a world champion is that you have to be a great athlete and a real tough guy and a guy that
Securing Alpha.
He can hold so easy. I mean, that was one of the prerequisites of being the champion. You know, really through Harley Race.
Yeah, through the 70s.
Securing B.
He was always supposed to win. He got hurt, shady circumstances.
Secured.
Canceled the match because it was an all-time record gate. And so, gosh, before I win the third fall. And that was the agreement to get him in the ring, and then he shut him down in 2 straight falls and ate him up and killed Hackenschmidt's career. Mahoney wasn't a It killed the business of Gus Salzberg. When that happened, you know,
Organic unalive.
Drawing cards in the history of wrestling. He was doing stadiums and doing 35,000 people all the time. And he was you know, when he's 21, 22 years old and what's going on. I mean, he could have been it.
We're losing
The
Charlie.
problem was is that he couldn't
Taking
wrestle.
Bravo underway.
But for whatever reason, you know how this goes. I mean, he had
Taking
the
objective.
charisma and he had the look. And what?
Irish in Boston. That didn't hurt.
Irish and Boston.
UAV inbound.
And then
Taking B. Hostile UAV established overhead.
Deploying RTX station.
How
I am taking the objective.
and how bad this looking. And then
Bravo zone
pretty much
secure.
lost his mind because he just realized what he's doing.
Taking Alpha.
So that whole, but that actually point to the O'Mahony and people like that. That was
Securing
a
Charlie.
big deal for wrestling. And then when she gets standing by.
Securing Charlie. Lockdown.
Back, oh yeah, wrestling was worked and whatever. She got double crossed.
Commencing OBJ capture.
Terrible wrestler, which came out, which killed O'Mahony, and also it
They're
really
taking C.
killed the popularity.
Hostile counter UAV established. Enemy UAV inbound.
Smart enough in the 70s and early 80s. These were still the
We're losing
rules of
Charlie.
thumb because it had such an impact on the business. Years before, if you're a world champion, watch out for double crosses. Exposés of the business will kill
Hostile
the
UAV
business
established
because the
overhead.
biggest exposé that savage wrestling, and there was no they got it back. If you go and look at this for a recent article I did in Fighting Spirit magazine, I realized
They're taking C.
New York came back in the early 50s on the back of Argentina Rock. Because Fez didn't draw.
We have report to the infiltrator. Watch your back.
It was here's where I was going with that. It was the ethnic hero,
Taking Bravo.
the formula that they found, because think about this, even in those days in New York, there were Italian newspapers. Language, the major New York papers were still
Securing
written
zone
about own wrestling, but they managed to bypass that business somewhat by the ethnic heroes that their fans were not reading the New York Times. And that's there. I think there's something. Remember all the times that the WWF television was on the Spanish language TV stations. They managed to bypass that bad publicity, and that's why it led to, for 40 years, they were led by an ethnic hero, because that was what finally worked after wrestling been dead because of the exposés.
Oh.
There's no way to really do a national expose, and unless somebody had time, right? So I'm going to put this on the Associated Press. It's going to go everywhere. So business would go down. It was the rule of thumb. World champions watch out for double crosses. If the newspapers expose our business, we're going to be dead. That were, rules of thumb in wrestling, because they were rooted in those things actually happening years and years before.
Because Madison Square Garden went dark for several years, as you mentioned. The first back was actually Gorgeous George on top, because Gorgeous George was so big on television. And Gorgeous George was dropped everywhere. And then Gorgeous George came in the garden, and it got a lot of publicity. Because Gorgeous George was one of the biggest stars of television at the time. And I forget the number, but it was like 4,000. Stanley, and then Rocca and Stanley did almost like 18,000 people. And that era for like probably the next, whatever it was, where Rocca was on top, and Rocca drew, he drew good every single show. But,
I know how to.
like you said, like Fez didn't draw on top at all. So you're, and George, it's like George was drawing everything.
I didn't realize it.
If you go back and look at the news,
Shut the fuck up, nigga.
wrestling coming
Found out how to-
Gorgeous George, they were just taking
How to
the
end the
piss
span-
out of Gorgeous. They took the piss
Got
out of
me a lot.
everything.
Keep that same energy right now.
Until finally,
Bam.
when they were selling out and turning people away, then they would still make the backhand comments like the show or the,
I done had a good day.
or,
No problem.
Bill or whatever, but they had to
had a good time.
but it was a rocky road there because that
All right, go.
in the 30s is what led to the Fall Guys, which thank goodness, that book was printed once and then reprinted 60 years later by Scott Teal, which we're going to talk about a little bit. Scott Teal has a part to play in this, as we all know now. That's the thing is that
Weapons free, people.
everybody
Make some
today
hate on.
laughs at all the things that the wrestlers and the wrestling promoters used to believe
Hardpoint
20 and 30
lockdown.
and 40 years ago. In reality,
Up
they
the steps
happened,
to
and they
hardpoint.
didn't want them to happen again.
For the time,
Fuck!
that was
Watch
what
it!
was. Yeah. But yeah, like going back
Hardpoint is
to
secure.
when George was in the garden, I remember the article after. Well, the George got made play in Los Angeles big, but here in New York, we're dedicated to this stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that tone. Like this. George was an incredible drop with us, for that 2-3 year period.
And
Time to hardpoint. Hardpoint located.
they brought in Miguel
Hardpoint locked
Perez.
down.
They made him his partner.
Capture the
Dynamic, but it
hardpoint.
was still the Puerto Rican and the Italian and the Hispanic audience. And then
Hardpoint
immediately
attack.
went to Bruno.
Hardpoint
It
is
was
secure.
For 30 years, you had to
And the Pedro Morales.
and in Morales, yeah. And again for 30, something years, you had to have the ethnic hero, and part of it obviously is because Bruno was a once in a lifetime talent, but part of it was because that was the way they were able to rebuild the business. The media just wanted nothing to fucking do with it.
Yeah, with Bruno's second run, I think by that point,
Hardpoint lockdown.
Bruno was just like a sports legend that everyone, like across all ethnic boundaries, loved. Loved Bruno. I mean, he drew everywhere. As far as
Hardpoint identified. Attached to hardpoint.
sports legend on the second run
Hardpoint is secured.
coming up.
Time to hardpoint.
It was like the because they
Hardpoint active. Hardpoint lockdown.
So within 2-3 years, the Rock affair.
Attached to
Bruno
hardpoint.
through his own unique fans, and then and it was the
Hardpoint
Italian,
is
Bruno,
secure.
of course, was the Italian sports hero, but Bruno became the hero to the downtrodden, but to everyone, even rich people. You know what I mean? It's like Bruno was like that part of your life. Like every month you knew he was going to get to dad. He was ready to start.
Well, let's talk about the program from this past week. And I mentioned that it's 45-minute programs. They couldn't put all the details in, and obviously,
Hostile RCXD in your AO. Hardpoint located.
Scott Hall even needed, so he said that, or he legitimately
check your
and that's 30 seconds or a minute that could be, utilized for something more
Hardpoint
positive.
active.
But some people
Hardpoint lockdown.
criticized the program, some people loved the program, some people were in the middle. First of all, before
Because I had been told a couple of reporters, several reporters, that they absolutely, and one of my best friends saw it, and he was telling me about it as well.
Time to hardpoint. Catch on my D-dice overhead.
And then this is the way it's portrayed. It's like, okay, I know that. So then, I
Hardpoint is secure.
I thought that the idea that, it's
Hardpoint identified.
And the same with Rest of the Shadows, too. The idea that it was Brett's last night with a promotion. So this, like, had no, you know, had either stuff off him or not.
Hardpoint active.
I mean, Brett had still had 3 weeks left on his contract, and then he still had another year.
Hardpoint locked in.
RTXP maneuvering. December paper.
Hostiles attached to hardpoint.
For pay-per-view with a 4-way. So it was like, you know, it's like, there's that, the art, if it was Brett's last night, absolutely his last night, you're in a war and all this, and Brett's not going to be, here's the Brett for you, but it's closer to the rest of the shadow. So it was just last night. After it happened, this was last night. We had another 3 to 4 weeks.
Hardpoint insecure.
And also, the thing.
Down to hardpoint. Hardpoint set. Hardpoint locked down.
Was, you know, Brett job on the way out. Just refused every scenario. And he refused, he did it. Some of the legal papers that went back and forth between Brett's lawyer and Vince as they're negotiating. We got moved.
Crush the litter bag. That's up.
belt on somebody else's TV, intellectual property. He wasn't going to throw the belt in the garbage can. He wasn't going to show up on TV if he said he wasn't going to show up. I think in Vince McMahon's mind eventually led to doing this was getting
Oh, there was a lot. They were marked all around the whole circle front.
Vince was going to be live. Trust Brett. You trust Eric Bischoff with your fucking company. And you're, in effect, if he had come out and said, we've signed the champion, he'll be here in 30 days, then that was, as I said on the program, was the equivalent of fucking Vince's wife in front of him on television. Or, emasculating him. It was, that's how important it was at that time. And if they'd announced Bret Hart will be here the day after he lost the belt, okay, the guy lost the belt, now he's going to the other place, right? That was more palatable. But signing away a current world champion had never been done and was not going to be done.
Yeah. The only thing I could say about that is that Bret had signed prior to that, the Monday before. So Eric actually had a Monday, because people have brought this up. Eric had a Monday where he could have said, we've signed Bret Hart, and he didn't. Now, that's not saying he wouldn't the next week. And again, in this one, really...
Well, a lot happened in that last week also.
Right. And also during that week, while it was not a big story in the United States, it was in Canada, because Bret was in two things in Canada. Number one is that the
Team deathmatch.
media covered pro wrestling.
CIA, you're cleared hot. Work your fragments.
History because of Toronto with the Tunnies and everything, where
falling behind Crimson
and Calgary as well. In the major markets, not like the United States. So wrestling was like book. It was like
as you say, a kid.
Nothing in the United States because it's wrestling.
Maneuvering.
Wrestling, that's so cool, and real media would cover you, and by the minute it's broken. And it was covered in the sports, and a lot of the newspapers, had stuff. Not so much the newspapers, but there were some newspapers, but a lot of the TSN. I remember off the record, which was a big show.
Yeah, Landsberg, Alan Landsberg. Yeah.
Michael told everyone that Bret's going to WCW. Not just about the championship, but he's going to WCW.
If I was so capable, I would have enjoyed that.
And I remember Bret was on the show. Bret was good. So he kind of, traipsed his way around it. And then when the show was over, I remember when I think that Bret's going to so there were people who knew in Canada.
They've taken the lead.
But, there's, again, it was a very tense situation. I don't think people really understood the nature of it. Because, there's rivalries, but it was never like, that's
So the futile cycle of kidding.
On the line on this thing, not just in salary to the wrestlers, but also in revenue to the company. knees. And hey, help me with this. Because this may come as a shock to everybody, but I don't listen to Eric Bischoff's podcast. But what has he... I've heard that recently he's offered Brett a contract when he did, and then he quit. Yeah. Help me say, what is he trying to say now? Because everybody knows
Stay on time.
what's he saying now?
I don't know. I think that, okay, because Eric doesn't like Brett because Brett trashes him constantly. There, and for good reason. I mean,
They shit the bed on the hottest wrestler.
I am still just warming up.
People, now, this is the weirdest of all, okay? Was that, did you hear about the interview Earl Hebner?
I actually did not because, and I'd like to
Scout
apologize to
activated.
people here on the to see if I wanted to do that show also, and I had no voice, and I didn't do it. But the effect of, well, now both of them were in a...
Revenge is my middle name.
You think it's a word? Yeah, like that. Like not definitive, but like, yeah, I do. And then you think Brett and Sean are in on it. He goes, well, I know, I'm positive Sean's in on it. It's like, well, yeah. I mean, Sean's admitted that, so that's not a big deal. And he goes, then they go, do you think Brett was in on it? And he goes, why would they do that to you, A? Why would, like of all people, and plus the fact that Brett was...
Yeah.
And
what part of shiny killer
and all this is like, of all the, it's like I can sort of understand fans, thinking that everything's a work in their wrestling, thinking it's but like Earl Hebner and guys some of the guys now that weren't around in '97, I can sort of see shadows. I can, but you were actually around then.
I gotta be
Operating
honest
off
with you, and I love Baby Earl. I think he might be trying to maybe take some of the heat off himself now, because here's the thing, and I'm not trying to tell tales out of school, but I was told that when they at a neutral location because he at first didn't believe it was really a TV documentary crew. He thought somebody was trying to beat him up over I swear, yes. Because it's been a soft spot there, a touchy spot because he really was caught between a rock and a hard place because they beforehand and said, hey, you want a fucking job,
We're ahead,
and
but
that's
stay
he
alert.
knew he couldn't
Marshall's people are
go in the other direction because they were from the years before when he left to do the twin referee thing. Anyway, let me
They
ask
were
you
already
this.
Good job.
Bischoff is saying that obviously he offered him a contract, signed it and came, but is he saying he didn't offer him a contract in '96 and just?
He claimed he never offered him the contract. So he could get a better deal with Vince, which was ludicrous because, as you probably know, and a lot of people know, and it's actually in his book, like Brett and I did not get along. Brett didn't want to talk to me after that. He was told by, a couple of people that were close to him, you're going to have to talk to Dave about this. And he did the Tuesday after my long conversation. We ended up being, pretty good friends. When my mom had a stroke, he was like the first person to reach out. He said, I heard about your mom, and you got a friend who, had a stroke and is like the spokesperson for strokes in Canada. So if you ever need anything, but the point is like we, for a variety of reasons, and one of them was that his dad really, and his mom loved The Observer, and he just, for whatever reasons, he thought he was, there's reasons. Brett didn't like me at the time. And Barry Bloom, you know, I mean, I know Barry Bloom, but I never talked to Barry Bloom about that business. And I mean, again, you were
Well,
around.
here's the thing.
Everyone in the business knew the story.
We knew as soon as it happened because Brett had taken off after WrestleMania. He put Michaels over the Iron Man match, and then he took off to do Lonesome Dove and do acting, and his contract had expired. And also, he was waiting to see Michaels twisting in the wind, either a flop at the box office or having a mental meltdown as champion, which that did happen. So that he could come back and you know, and say, okay, Vince, you know, you should have known, but I told you so. Well, then, once again, we heard because in the writing meetings before Russo came on, that's what Vince said, they offered close to $3 million.
On the chart.
Yeah, and that's when Vince came up with the idea. I can't match $3 million a year, but I can sign him for 20 years with good money for a couple of years as a wrestler, and then as a goodwill ambassador and creative something with the company, make hundreds of $1,000s a year for 20 years. And because Brett wanted to stay loyal, that's what he signed. And then that's what
Yes.
my hair out of my head when in '97, then Russo had come along, and for a while the team was me and Bruce and Russo. Toward the end of the year, as I mentioned, in the office, and it was just me and Russo. Then Vince is saying, well, I'm going to have to see if we can get the deal back with Bischoff. And my tongue just fucking hit the floor. And that's what they wrote some clause, and Vince was trying to help Brett work Bischoff in, because Vince did say that he didn't want Brett to say that Vince is ridiculous. Or whatever. However, they wrote a clause in there. Bischoff saying that I have the power at this time for a 30 or 60 day window or whatever it was to negotiate.
Blackout don't leave people behind. We got the lead. Now hold it.
And I don't know how anybody can say it didn't happen, since it was common knowledge at the time.
And last year,
This shit ain't working. You lost the advantage.
When the guy
and, you know, I would say 9 wrestlers out of 10
Foot Patrol.
because the money was so much better. The travel was better. I think it's Brett. I knew that the legend, he was always going to be, you know, well. I think he always had confidence in Vince, and he didn't know the other side at all. And, you know,
and he could kind of smell that they didn't know what they were doing, and that they were spending, you know, a lot of hard money.
When he got there, it was pretty quick when he figured that out. That they had no direction. I mean, like, I can remember pretty quick, frustration. I was watching. I mean, again, when Brett showed up, I mean, Brett was the hottest guy in the business. And, you know, there were so many mistakes made and impatience and, you know, like they have an idea for 3 weeks and then they go, this isn't working.
Well, besides, the hottest wrestler in the business coming out of
Can't get in the corner.
finish of all time, and bring him down the aisle to be a special referee, and you could just see, you know, it was on his face. It was so stupid. You should have been in on a few of the fucking WWE. We're scoff laughing. This is what they're doing with the guys that they're paying $3 million a year to. But anyway,
and WCW was winning. You know, so Hulk Hogan Sting match, the biggest match they would ever
taking your finger off the trigger.
Getting on fire, and then you guys, Bret Shaw and Undertaker, who were the top three guys at the time. And I don't want to say who was the biggest, but you know, made it big number one.
That's the kill.
One of the top guys. At the time when they'd already lost Paul Nash and Hulk Hogan was there. And some of the other guys. I thought, like, you know, no.
Eyes on enemy.
I know you would have to at the time.
Control.
We lost another top guy to them while we're losing. And I thought, like, you know, Vince is really good. I thought, like, now Vince is
Ain't no way.
I thought WCW was going to win because you know, Vince has been around for so long. And that's when they actually, like, plus the way it all happened was so bad.
Here's the thing, when you think about it, in 3 months, they botched Bret Hart. They botched the Hogan Sting match, so it's, you know, it never Sting.
You know, I remember
Got his ass.
Signing in. It's 5 in a row.
didn't happen overnight, but within a couple of months,
Bruh, all them niggas in the middle, they go push.
Scott Paul's active.
And that was, I love all the people, you know, who claim credit for that. I can tell you.
I'm not going.
That was the professor, right? That was my brother.
I've heard 50 people take credit for it, and it's like I was on the phone. It was starting to get hot, but it wasn't anything that ended up being it was getting hot. And it called me up, and the reason he called me up for it was because he wanted to go do the record, so he then and so we went back, and whatever the number was, the first week they mentioned 3, that was the real number. And that got to like 75 or so, you know, and up to 100. 5. And so while we were doing those 2-minute, 90-second squats, you know, night show, and they were neck and neck with each other.
Yo, check your fire.
You know, people will have different opinions. A lot of people will, but they'll go away and throw out things that they don't want to and you know, people criticize because they would, it's already internet. So they've got, so people know, like, okay, he worked like 3 hot shows. So they come in and they have enough. So the sign stops because people would make the sign, but doing the same.
Crimson's on their heels. Hit them hard.
And it's like, why do you then have to make those fans go to the then they start pumping in the Goldberg stuff in the building, which is doing an inning.
Right.
Objective set. Way to make me proud.
Main event at Georgia Dome in front of 40,000 people, and here you go.
Yeah, but that's all. Put them over. But there was never a you know, the advantage was always like 30,000, and that's why Hogan was, you know, what he could claim credit for that crowd, and the crowd had been 41,000 people, and all the execs from Turner were there because wrestling was on fire, and for once they were proud of having a wrestling company because they were selling 41,000 tickets. So all those execs see Hulk Hogan and Bill Goldberg in that main event and just go, my God, Hulk Hogan and Bill Goldberg, we got the greatest Hogan, even though he lost.
Well, but then the thing is, he always wanted to get it back, though.
Well, he never put Bill over on a pay-per-view. If they would have done like two more pay-per-views, those would have been the two biggest pay-per-views in history, but Hogan wouldn't do the second job. Back, and, you know, that was the beginning of, you know, the when Finger touched.
And feel free to tell me if I'm telling a lie, right? Just right here in front of God and everybody say, JC, you're fucking lying. But you pretty much know, because you're one of the few people that I shared this with. I couldn't remember whether I called you to see if people were still looking for me or not, but you'd already talked to a few people at that point, and before I called you, I think I was down on about number 4 or 5 on the list, maybe, past Bruce and a few other people. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I've known him for a long time, but when Bruce says that he didn't regularly talk to Dave, anyway.
Yeah. I wouldn't say all the time, but we definitely talked.
Well, it was more than just at Christmas.
More than just at Christmas, yeah.
But anyway, you know, basically the whole thing, and I have not come out and said a few times over the last few years when I would hear, well, so-and-so wrote a book and they said that it was their idea, and so-and-so wrote a book and said it was their idea, and then idiot, shit stains, you know, he said, oh, well, I just told him to put the hold on. For 2 reasons. Number one, I didn't like Shawn Michaels because he was an unprofessional prick, personally and professionally, and he had no sympathy from me. And I liked Bret, and I liked his brother, I liked his family, and I liked the way he wrestled, and et cetera, et cetera. So it wasn't like I was trying to fucking put a hit out on this guy, but as we talked about here on this show last week, I figured, fuck, I'm never going to do a national TV documentary on this thing again, and it's been 20 years. Just to clear it up, the whole incident came about, at least in the way it came about, because I was in the middle of a job that was driving me crazy, listening to millionaires argue with each other about what they were going to do for $2 and $3 million a year. Well, Michaels, the reason why he was arguing a lot, he was only making $750,000, and he was pissed about that because Bret's dick was bigger and his contract too. But I was listening to millionaires argue with each other. I'm sitting across the table looking at fucking Vince Russo. I had already come to the conclusion of what he was and what he was about and how he was, if left to his own devices, was going to hotshot and expose the wrestling business into a goddamn Jerry Springer show. And I was fat and miserable and looking for a way to get out of this whole situation before they drove me crazy. And finally, as people know that I sometimes want to do, I got cranky when we couldn't do anything done and get anything done, and I said, God damn it, Vince, it's your fucking belt, take it back, double crossing. And at that point, obviously, and this is the one thing I wanted to clarify with you, and other people have said this, Vince never came up with the finish for seriously, well, should he cinch up on a small package? It was a sarcastic, well, what's he supposed to do, cinch up on a small package? Because that's the one he knew from, you know, Wendy and Moon. And I said no, because then if that's the case, Bret will still kick out and beat the fuck out of him on national TV. And that's when Vince said, well, then how would you do it? Well, now it's a fucking challenge. And I'm pissed, and we're not getting anything else accomplished here anyway, so I'm going to fantasy book in my head a double cross that would hold water. And so, and I gave credit to Scott Teal, who had just reprinted The Fall Guys. Did you get that, by the way, the wrestling reprints he did of The Fall Guys?
I got The Fall Guys. I definitely got The Fall. I had an original copy of The Fall Guys, too.
Okay, well, you bastard. I only got my original copy last year from one of the fans who sold it to me for a seduced rate. But Scott had reprinted that, and I'd been reading it. And I went through mentally as quickly as I could on the spur of the moment all of the double crosses I ever knew. And I'd already mentioned, well, you know, sarcastically again, well, fuck it. Change the match to book him with Shamrock and he'll lose it. But obviously, no. A, he'd do the same thing that Bearcat Wright did when he saw Judo Gene and Bell coming. He'd just get out of the ring and we'd be fucked there.
Well,
B,
Ken would never have done that.
Ken wouldn't have done it. They were friends. You couldn't ask some guys to just go into a shoot. Vince didn't want Ken to win the belt anyway, so I'd already said just in
Y'all niggas suck.
Part of the whole thing is that if Vince was going to do it with Ken,
he would have done it. Yeah.
Man, fatty gas.
the funny part of the whole thing, it's like,
What you mean, fatty gas?
I would go so far as to say, anyone on the roster,
Taker, anybody,
Shawn.
probably me, except but that's no order. Vince,
Keep your team's
I
HBT
think
alive and hunt
mentally
the enemy
had
down.
to at least get the belt on who he wanted. Because Vince was not one all over here, right?
He's literally
But anyway,
throwing some cuffs.
so as a result, I said, okay, there's just a few things that need to be taken into consideration. You can't do an easy way or hard way like Trevor Lewis because Shawn could not beat Brett in any way, shape, or form.
We took out their
It wouldn't even be a
HBT.
contest. So that means you have to have the referee in on it.
You described that clump of hair story. I mean, but I never knew that, like, it was a clump.
You're falling behind!
Yeah, it was.
Enemy HBT on site. Take them out. HBT under fire. Repeat, HBT on fire.
We have it somewhere in a. Somewhere. Because I had to tell the story, right? I had the goddamn visual aid. I said, look at what happened tonight in Hartford.
Enemy HBT is down.
I said,
Friendly
so the
HBT on
referee
site. Mistake.
the famous deal with Lewis and Henry DeGlane, where the referee was in on it because he was in fucking.
Take your head out your ass and your finger off the trigger.
At that point, right? Or was he the one they were trying to get it away from?
Leave now.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the referee was in on it.
HBT is taking fire.
That's
Keep
how
the package
they
safe.
go across Lewis.
We took out their HBT.
This is as old as the Hill spot. The fucking heel gets the
Our HBT's been eliminated.
because I didn't have much time because they weren't going to listen to me, and like I said, we were getting nothing
Enemy
else done.
HBT on
That's why I
site.
said,
Take
all
them
right,
out. Protect our
fucking
HBT.
figure out a spot where Shawn gets the fucking sharpshooter so Brett can reverse it. But the reversal never comes. In the days before tap out, you relied on the referee. If the guy submitting didn't want to really do it, he wouldn't make that big
Come on, you're losing
down,
this
yes, head shake. And the referee would just call it. But this is why, this is the main reason, to be honest, I like Brett. I didn't want people to say
Fire. Repeat. HBT under fire.
but the reason why I've held this back so long is because, much like, as I said, when we found out,
You're falling
my
behind.
fucking fan club
Hostile
president
HBT
was responsible for Vince Russo getting the wrestling business with John Arezzi.
Andrew Goldberger?
And Goldberger, yes. Eyes on me.
You're our HBT. Stay alert.
Good effect.
Story until 3 weeks ago about the Andrew. I mean, I knew that John Resnick and
I didn't know it until we talked to John about 6 months ago. But anyway,
Target appears hostile.
I was in New York at the Hilton, WrestleMania week, and Andrew Goldberger comes up to me and tells me the story.
We got the lead. Now hold it. HBT.
Goes through. I think the base. Oh my God! You know, like he went through. You know the story.
Enemy HBT on
Some
site.
guy coming behind us.
but much as that,
Hostile HBT overhead.
such shit, it doesn't really matter anyway, but me, of all people, I figured the fucking finish would do more to expose the
Yo, check your fire.
when you think about it. And I was like, okay, I fixed that. And I said, then just have the fucking referee ring the bell, everybody get out of there, and what's Brett gonna do? Call the newspapers, nobody will know. Cut the fucking broadcast, blah, blah, blah. Vince went completely the other way. He went out there and made sure everybody...
Assault pack destroyed.
He fucking not
Enemy
only
HBT is down.
a lot of people have said, well, why did they stay on the air? Because, and you know this, tell me if...
Pretty quick.
Well, but they didn't rush off as quick as they could, and I don't know.
Never swashbuckler
So
overhead.
whether Vince might have told
HBT
Kevin
under fire.
Owens
Repeat.
whatever
HBT
happened
under fire. Located.
Armed hostile.
he
Clean shot.
figures there's going to be some chaos. I mean, the guy's dick came out of his pipes or whatever. You know, that didn't explain that.
Fire. Requesting Hellstorm strike.
The clip that where they zoomed in on Vince with the glove and Brett spit on his face was not from the broadcast. It was from
Wrestling with Shadows and the WCW thing, that's also from Wrestling with Shadows. None of that was shot by WWE. So I think that the one thing, like I
Enemy
said
HVT
before,
on site. Take them out. HVT is taking fire. Center HVT.
fans,
Enemy RCXD
fans are gonna,
detected.
you know, say whatever they think, but like people in the business that thought that it's still like it's just weird. It's one of the most famous stories ever.
Enemy HVT is down.
I don't know. That could be that wrong on something where there's so much evidence and
I think some of them are out of the flat. That's
Protect our
bullshit, but they
HVT.
get
Hostile
attention
HVT
saying
located.
it, right? And some people voted for Donald Trump, so we know that there's. But anyway,
HVT under fire. Repeat, HVT under fire.
that's all I knew, and I still to this day. We obviously we know that Vince relayed that spot.
Engaging shooter.
We went back to our business, and that was Wednesday, and I never heard anything about it again.
Patterson was the one who suggested the spot.
HVT is taking fire. Back to set up their HVT.
I'm sure relayed that.
He's been eliminated.
Pat dealt with the boys. The boys loved Pat. He had a lot of
Friendly
credibility.
HVT on
I don't
site.
think Vince
Keep 'em
wanted to
safe.
put Pat in that position, but since he was always the agent for the title matches, I would believe that Vince went to Pat and
HVT
said,
under
well,
fire.
we're going to do
Repeat,
this DQ or this
HVT under
schmoz or
fire.
whatever, but at least let's get get this spot in and that spot in, whatever. And I believe he may have protected that. I don't think that Pat knew right.
I tend to believe that.
Enemy HVT on site. Take them out.
That's one I don't know.
Miss me?
You know, I think, you know, Earl and Dave Hebner at the last minute, and then, I mean, literally last minute, and Jerry Briscoe, that historically he absolutely knew, but that may have been it.
Flag.
Maybe slightly by the end. I can tell you that Brett believed, Brett, you know, and there's no. He knew Sean knew right away. And he knew Triple H knew, which is that famous scene in Wrestling with Shadows with Julie Hart with Triple H, which is an absolutely amazing scene.
Yeah, don't give me that bullshit. You know you knew.
I mean, he's looking down, and it's just like when I saw that, I was like, wow, he really, because I didn't know that he knew. And later I found out the conversation, you know, that in many ways led to what happened.